Hey everybody, I'm Josh Olive with Haven Comics. It's Thursday night, so that means it's time for some shop talk. So stick around after we play this super sweet opening video. I'm not gonna lie, I like playing that video every week just because it's so cool. And huge shout out to Nick Ellis of Two Brothers Comics for making that for us because it's awesome. Speaking of things that are awesome, what's up, Alan?
That didn't have enough volume to it.
You never watched wrestling when you were a kid at all, did you?
No, I never watched it. Not one solitary bit.
Yeah, you can tell.
Dude, it's funny that you say that because last night when I crawled in bed, my wife was laying there watching one of those wrestling documentaries, and it was about Magnum TA. And I got all excited because they were showing clips that I remembered from when I was a kid. I'm watching it's 9:30 at night, and I'm watching Magnum TA and Nikita Koloff and Tully Blanchard and gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, and I know who all those people were.
Yeah.
And you see them now, and they're like little old men, and you're like, where did my childhood go?
It happens. The only wrestling champ that remains undefeated is Father Time.
Oh, yeah. That is the truth on that one. Oh.
I see you picked it up.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling sorry for Tom these past couple of weeks because I have had no time to socialize with everything that's going on in the real world, in my real world. And so last night was no exception. It was literally, I ran in there an hour later than what I wanted to, basically declaring, give me my crap, and ran right back out. But all I got to do is make it through this weekend, and I can sit back and catch my breath.
Well, that sounds pretty good.
Yep, I just got to make it through this weekend.
So you have to don the tutu again, and
so last weekend was Birmingham. The girls did really good. For one of their dances, they got a high gold, which the bug wasn't too happy about that, but it happens, even though a high gold is great.
What's higher than that?
Well, platinum is actually that. And for their second dance, what up?
Aaron Michaels, if you have the time, you want to jump on, let me know and I'll shoot you a link.
Yeah, really. Hadn't talked in a while. But for their second dance, they got a platinum. They were extremely excited about that. This weekend, we have Nashville, which will be another marathon weekend. And this is the last weekend of dance competition for us. So, but the thing is, at church Sunday night, they're doing the area-wide youth devotional, and Bug wants to go to it. So if we can make it home by 4:00, it's going to be change clothes and, head on to church. So she can go to the area-wide, which, I'm never going to say no to something like that. So
no, but that if you do that, that gives you a solid hour to swing by Haven after you drop her off.
Honestly, there's going to be so many people there. There's already a rough head count of who all's planning on attending. And I am sure that I will be put to work doing something when I get there.
Fair enough.
So, which is fine by me. I enjoy that type of stuff.
I was just going to say, we had a fun little thing at the store yesterday where the pipes froze. That was exciting.
Yeah, Tom did tell me about that.
Well, you want to hear something really interesting that we learned today from the plumber?
Oh, what's that?
Guess where the pipes come into the building for our unit?
Through the roof?
Yeah!
I can believe it on those style buildings.
Why in the world would the water pipes come in through the roof?
Well, I mean, chances are that building's just on a slab, so.
I was just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, that could have got real bad real fast.
Yeah, it could have. So that was extremely unnerving. A couple months ago, the hot water heater crapped out, and turned out that was in the ceiling. So now that makes more sense, I guess, why the hot water heater's in the ceiling. What could go wrong with a vessel creating hot water over your head? Yeah, there you go, Keelisa. I just had this picture in my head of the hot water heater going, and all of
Well,
us just being hit in 140-degree water.
the good news is I think the bitter cold is over with.
It is. Yep.
I mean, that doesn't mean that we won't have our usual snap right around Easter, but that's just the way it is around here.
Well, it goes the opposite way in the going from summer to winter, right? We always like get a little cool weather toward the end of October, and then we have this real weird, uh, super hot snap again for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Daniel Major, what is up, man? How you doing?
While we're waiting on Aaron to get on,
Let's talk some comics.
yeah, let's talk some comics right quick. I've actually got 2 ash cans.
Man,
I got to be honest with you. I'm disappointed in ash cans as a whole. And,
okay.
and here's the reason being. It would be nice. And okay, so let's start off with this one. Apparently, Dynamite is relaunching Darkwing Duck.
Correct.
It's, I mean, literally all we have in here is some art. I mean, that's all it ever really is anymore, is just art. We've got no words whatsoever. At the end of the day, this is still Darkwing Duck. It's being done by Dynamite.
You really got to take a smidge longer when you're showing those things because you flash them by so fast you can't see it.
Okay, so it's Darkwing Duck and it's being done by Dynamite. They've already done one run of Darkwing Duck.
Art looks great.
Yeah, it's really good. This looks just like the first run that they did.
That's helpful.
And I did, and if y'all go back and watch a lot of the older shows, and when I was doing the pull list, I did review a lot of the Darkwing Duck comics
because they're so good.
They really were, and I'm going to go ahead and stand by what I was saying with the other run that they did. If you've got a smaller child, I think these books are great for the parent and the child because it is something that y'all can read together. They could even be bedtime stories. The adult, you will remember a lot of these characters. I never, in 51 years of being on this earth, thought that I would get excited when I saw Megawatt show up in a comic book, and I did. And the Bug enjoyed them. So, I mean, they're fun. Yeah, I mean, surprisingly good. I mean, you're right, Daniel. But if you're a parent and you're looking for a book to kind of get to share with your kid, these are great. I mean, they really are. The next one is, I think it's, from what I've seen, is becoming more and more and more anticipated, which kind of surprises me for some reason, because I was never big into it when I was younger, but Silverhawks. My issue with this ash can is you really and truly can't even get enough of try to piece together a story just through the art to figure. All you can really tell is there's a bunch of people in space, and I'm guessing, yeah, Josh froze and left us entirely. There's a bunch of people in space and some folks get attacked. One thing that I did enjoy about this is the very beginning does get you pretty much caught up with what you need to know on Silverhawks. We will go ahead and jump into a couple of others. So Josh Williamson left Green Arrow. He finished his run a few issues back. I really and truly wasn't feeling, I believe his name is Condon, is who started writing Green Arrow. I wasn't feeling it at first, but it was more of he's just having to get used to another writer and his writing style and the story that he was telling. This Freshwater Killer is what's been the story arc so far, and it has been really, really good. If you want to give Green Arrow a try, now is the time to jump on Green Arrow. I'm trying to get to I'm trying to get to a page with some good art on it. There we go. I mean, I say that like the whole thing is bad, but no, I mean the art's been solid. I mean the art is still good. It's Josh Williamson's run on this was really fun, and this one is just different and it's darker. Which, for those of y'all that know me or those of y'all that have been watching the show for a while, y'all do know that I enjoy the darker tones that DC tends to bring, which this has been no exception. Like I said, I just had to get used to a new writer, and I am enjoying it. Bill, it's funny that you should say that because Dan Waters has knocked it out of the park with Nightwing. We do get it's kind of a new character in this one, although it's a current character just when she was younger. Because the majority of this comic book is a flashback to basically a case that Dick Grayson and Bruce Wayne were working when they were still Batman and Robin when Dick was younger. And her name is like Columbiana or something like that. She is a major character in the book. This is part of a flashback from when Dick Grayson had first met her. There they are. But this has been solid. And Bill, you read the majority or all of the Daredevil run that Zdarsky did, correct? Was you reading that one? Anybody that read Zdarsky's Daredevil and is reading Dan Waters' run on this, please chime in, whether it's live or you're watching later on. But this really reminds me, just the tone, the art, everything that's going on, reminds me of Zdarsky's run on Daredevil. I don't know if it's just me or what, but I have thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, everybody was nervous about Tom Taylor leaving Nightwing, but it ended up, I mean, it's been great, which we can go ahead and pull this one up too, because Tom Taylor left Nightwing for Detective Comics. And y'all heard me in the past. I talked about, I kind of had some reservations about that because I feel like Detective Comics should be extremely dark and brooding, and I did not know how Tom King would write that. But hey, you know what? Once again, he is knocked it out of the park. All right, cool. So it's not just me. It does, it does have that Zdarsky Daredevil feel. And yeah, his sister, I don't know what's going on there. There's like part of you that says, hey, she's cool, trust her. But there's also another part, especially with this last issue, where she's being more of a mayor and trying to run the city. I don't know how much we can actually trust her on that. But in this particular issue, we are running along this storyline of there were 17. I'm gonna borrow a line from Joe Pesci from my Pesci from My Cousin Vinny. There were 17 Utes that were all let out of a basically a detention center at the same time, and 10 of them are, let's just say, no longer with us. Someone has been hunting them down, and in this issue, the last 7 that are left, the Bat family has tracked them down, got them to safety, and basically given them like clothing or whatever that could help them track them, just so they could try to stop their impending doom. I'm trying to figure out a nice way to do this without the YouTube censors getting onto us. And it's been really good. Like I said, I was worried about how Tom Taylor would write the darker side of Detective Comics. Because like I said, I've said it 1,000 times, it's supposed to be dark and brooding. And he has done a phenomenal job writing this. The art, spot on. It's just been really good. These are between Dan Waters' Nightwing and Tom Taylor's Detective Comics. 2 solid Bat Family books. Just solid Bat Family books. Another one, and I don't know if this come out this week or last week because I could not get by the shop last week. But we've got a new one that is by EC Comics, and that was Cruel Kingdom. It's following the same style as the other books that they've done. Was it Cruel Universe, Epitaphs of Despair, and all that? We've got these are more sword. I want to say sword and sorcery, but there's a really messed up spin on Snow White in here. What happens after the fact? Which, believe it or not, I enjoyed that more than what I thought it would. And the gist of the story is the prince has already woken her up, but it's actually been years. And I would say that it's Grumpy is the last of the survivors when it comes to the dwarves, and he's had to basically bury everyone on his own, and he's kind of gone crazy himself. And that was really good. Oh, let's see what's going on. Oh, okay, Josh said that his internet went down. So we'll see how long. I don't know. Maybe he's coming back. We'll find out. But if you like Epitaphs and you like the others books that EC's been doing, you'll definitely enjoy this one. It was good. I don't know how to really describe. This one's not like the others. It's not as dark in some places. Even though that some of the subject matter was dark, it didn't feel as dark, if that made sense. Right now, one of my favorite DC books, and I did not think that I would be saying this, but after 22 issues, it gets better and better with every issue, and that is Superman. In this particular issue, Superman is having to deal with Radiant. This is Radiant, by the way. Let's see if that. But basically, Superman and Superwoman have Doomsday at LexCorp. He is incapacitated. Hey, Aaron, Josh's internet went down, and I don't have. Let me see if I can do this. We'll try to go this way. Yeah, Daniel, you're right. The EC books have been really good so far, and this one was no exception. I mean, it was one of those that you literally got exactly what you would be expecting from what they've been doing so far. Aaron, I don't think we're friends on Facebook, but I'm going to try to track you down right quick. And bam, I just sent you a friend request. Let's see if I can. Yes, I can, if it'll let me. I'm multitasking. Aaron, you should have a link in your DMs. But the Aftermath is a group of survivors that Doomsday has destroyed their planet. They've basically bonded together, and they have their own army is what it comes down to, and they want Doomsday. They plan on putting Doomsday off and holding him hostage for, I guess, eternity. But Superman does not want to give Doomsday up. So this one has been really good. Aaron, are you reading Wonder Woman?
I am not. I'm ridiculously behind. I got maybe 5 or 6 issues in, but I love what I got so far. And Josh has caught me up on Trinity and the Steve Trevor drama of it all.
Well, issue 17, I don't know. It just felt a little weird to me. It's almost like we're kind of dragging it out now. And I'm ready for that climactic fight, you know?
Yeah.
So what's been going on in your world?
Nothing. It's been really quiet. Oh, I'm balancing tabs. I was trying to open it up so I could see the Facebook comments. It's been quiet, but it's been good. I finished Peacemaker in December and have just been kind of coasting, but all is well.
Well, if you finish Peacemaker in December, what is up next on your docket?
At the moment, nothing. We're figuring that out as we speak. Hi, Lisa. Things are good. I'm sitting on the floor of my living room right now because today is an inaugural fantastic day. Today is going through my entire comic collection and reorganizing it because I haven't in years. So I have like 15 short boxes in front of me.
You know what? That's always fun when you got time to do something like that.
It is. So I'm trying to make the most of no showtime. January is historically slow, so we're figuring it out. But it's all good.
Nick, what are you talking about?
So you're the third person that suggested this to me. I have a hard copy and then was told that I should be doing the audiobook instead. So this will
so explain, what is that?
It's a novel written sometime within the last 5 or 10 years that's about, and from my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, an alien invasion that takes over the planet Earth that basically does mind games, where the invasion is not for like any alien tactical reason, it's for fun. And Carl is a human man who has survived this apocalypse event and is now like a lab rat for the aliens and has to go through these Hunger Games dystopian level Legend of Zelda style dungeons in order to win posterity with the alien race and grant himself his own survival. And there's a cat that talks to him also, and that is a source of immense comedy.
Right as you said that, this comment popped up.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay, so I'm looking at it now. So it's an actual book.
Yes, it's a novel. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's like that big.
It's like how big?
Well, for perspective.
Okay. Okay, so this is an entire series.
Yes, and then there's an audio drama that you can get on Audible for free called Kaiju Surgeon Master, and it's like a you're in the video game simulation, and then it turns into a horror book, but you're doing like kaiju surgeries on like Godzilla.
Okay,
I've heard that's also fun, and that's from the same writer. I have not dipped my toes into that world yet, and I'm very excited to do so.
Well, there is good news. Every single one of these are on Kindle Unlimited, so I can start reading them immediately.
Heck yeah. I have realized how many comic books I have today. That's been kind of my, not epiphany. Epiphany? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's good.
I think it was just before Christmas. I have completely and totally taken over our dining room. There's comic books everywhere. There's toys everywhere. I really just want to turn our dining room into a library, but my wife will not let me.
Yeah.
But I literally decided I was going to clean off the dining room table. And just before Christmas, I ran into Haven. I got a long box, and I'm going to, pack this long box full and put it away. I filled that long box and didn't even barely put a dent on what was on the dining room table.
See, I don't do long boxes. I've got an absurd amount of short boxes, and I find the cute Marvel ones that have the fun designs on the side. Like, for example, here's Moon Knight.
Yep, that is a good one.
I have a Champions one, an Ultimates one, a Peter, Miles, Captain Marvel, Doctor Strange, Fantastic Four. Also, while I'm here and I'm with my ilk, how do y'all store the magazine size comics? Because I've only got 4 of them, and no, that's not true. I have 6 of them, and I don't know how to do this. I don't have any apparatus for these.
So what I did was, if you can find magazine bags, which are very hard to find.
But I don't have 100. I only have 6.
I know. Unless there's a local comic book store where you're at that sells them individually. But and this right here is what I was about to say. I do the same thing, sideways in the box.
I have that Black Lightning one that I just pulled up.
Yeah.
I have crumbled one of those corners to death by doing that, and I have an old 1984 magazine, and it was like about Empire Strikes Back, like promoting it as it was coming out.
Yeah.
And I tore the corner of it. I felt so bad.
Now, next time you're in town,
Mhm.
Josh I don't know if Josh had these or if they came in them, but you know those they're really, I think they're probably about like this big. They were those old Disney comic books that were really big, but they were like on newspaper.
The Davy Crockett ones?
Well, no, not the Davy Crockett ones. If I was at home, I could show you several of them. I want to say they were like in the 40s and 50s, maybe some of them in the 60s. I'm not sure. But the paper on them was so thin, it was like old newspaper. Josh had found a bunch of those, and I picked up several of them, but they were already in bags. They were already in bags and boards. So I don't know if he had those bags and boards or what.
Interesting. I will poke a gander, see what we can do. Also, in my comic collection, I have found a seminal issue that I adore implicitly, and I'm going to use this to promote a book that's probably 5 years old at this point. This is issue number 13 of Ice Cream Man, the horror book from Image. This book is a palindrome. Every single panel, every single paragraph, it works as a complete palindrome. The whole 22 pages. It's brilliant.
Oh, no, that's cool.
It's fantastic. And also, in being the palindrome, you get a completely different either way that you're reading it. It's fantastic. It's
nice.
Like you want to read it like 2 or 3 times. Hello. Welcome back.
So my internet died, and it seemed to take my computer with it. And so I ran downstairs to get my other computer, which I bring up and get hooked up. And it's slow as Christmas all of a sudden. So I don't know if Microsoft rolled out some big update or something, but everything is just...
Well, I left 4 books to talk about waiting on you, hoping that you would get back.
Well, hang on now. Just give me a quick rundown of what you already talked about.
So I talked about quite a few. I honestly, since I could not make it up there last week, I don't know what come out last week and what come out this week. But this is literally what I've read the past 2 nights. Because I was reading before this. Green Arrow issue 20. We are getting closer to the freshwater killer to see exactly who that is, which has been surprisingly good. And yes, I love that cover. Did you
read cover?
Do it?
Yes.
What did you think about Snow White?
Somehow I got 2 copies of that. Not sure how that happened.
What did you think about Snow White? That little retelling. What's up, Mark? That was definitely weird. It
was a weird book in general. I was surprised at some of the more sci-fi elements of it.
Yeah, that was especially the old witch versus the technology.
Yeah, I just really wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be more straight up fantasy, historical kind of stuff.
I was kind of
because they've already got Cruel Universe for the sci-fi, right?
Yeah. The Snow White one was definitely my favorite one out of all of them.
Yeah, by far.
I think I need it in my box. This sounds absurdly up my alley.
I talked about how absolutely awesome Dan Waters is doing on Nightwing.
After you were saying that, I went back and because I was a little bit behind on Nightwing, I just let it go after Tom Taylor moved off of it, and I was like, it's just gonna go downhill. And then you started saying, no, man, it's really good, and I'm like, God dang it! So I went back and got caught up, and God dang it, it's really good.
Okay, so and Bill and I talked about this a little bit while you were gone. Does it not feel like Zdarsky's Daredevil run? Just the tone, the pace,
it does.
The overall mood.
the things I liked about Zdarsky's run, the things I liked about Zdarsky's run uh, are the same vibe.
All right, you
Am
froze
I
again.
cutting in and out because things are happening?
Okay. I covered DC.
Yeah, my
How
screen
Tom
keeps
Taylor.
going out.
Your feed,
Um,
your feed is uninterrupted though. You're good.
Yep. I was
Okay.
not that big on Wonder Woman issue 17. I was
Oh, I
expecting
was.
I was expecting a big climactic fight for this issue for some reason. So it
That's
it
next
was
issue.
not what I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Superman 22. Superman has just been great. It is definitely a must read for me. We do get Radiant and basically the Aftermath army have attacked Earth, and Superman and everybody is fighting back. There's a really cool double page spread where Superman and Doomsday have had to team up.
That's pretty cool.
So that was looked really good. I don't know. And we have interviewed this man. He has been on the show, and I don't know what gives him the audacity to be this good. But Space Ghost issue number 9. Josh, I think you froze again. Space Ghost is an unstoppable beast, even without his technology. I mean, this was great. I mean, this has been, and I think it's only going to be 12 issues. This has been so much fun.
I read issue 1 of that. That run is fantastic.
Are you caught up on it?
No, I only read the first issue when it came out, but I loved it.
Yeah, Mark, you're right. This has been so good, and I loved the way this ended with the whole flashback to his family and now Jan and Jace and everything else. I thought that was really good. Space Ghost basically not having his power bands and having to fight pretty much as a normal man. I thought that was great. This has just been so good. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Herculoids also, and I do want to see how they're going to do the crossover between Johnny Quest and Space Ghost. And there was
Fun.
I saw where Mark Spears is doing a cover for that crossover, and he's got, I think he's even got a cover coming out for Silverhawks. He's got a bunch of covers getting ready to come out.
I was going through my books today, and I got there's like a Jon Stewart, Mark Spears cover for Green Lantern War Journal. It is so dang good. Hang on, I'll see if I can find it. Yes, I can.
Yep, Space Ghost has been really good.
Look at that.
Okay, so
The audacity.
oh really? How dare you pull out a Mark Spears cover when we're talking about Mark Spears?
It's so good.
Okay, and you know what? I got to Google this because I was, I thought about this earlier, and then let's see. Okay, so I've got, because I completely and totally forgot. Okay, I've got the name now. Let's go to Instagram and see if we can find, because I'm going to pull the picture up on Mark Spears' Instagram page before I actually say this, so everybody's got to like either agree or disagree on the spot.
I like this for pre-fact checking.
Yeah, we are pre-fact checking. No, I mean, I already feel this way, and we can argue about this all we want. Come on, pull up. I think everybody's internet is kind of lagging. Oh, come on. Yeah, Instagram is wanting to be a pain right now.
I found this old issue of Popeye that's an Action Comics #1 cover, or homage cover, and I love it. I thought I should share.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that is cool. I do like that.
No fun. I don't even have Popeye comics like this. I just was like, nope, need. And I'm glad to see that like 11-year-old me that bought that is.
All right, Mark, I'm headed to your Instagram because he doesn't have it on his.
I don't know how helpful I'm going to be in co-moderating, because the only comics I've been reading this past couple of weeks have been binge reading through McKay's run on Doctor Strange. I'm almost caught up. I love it so much. Oh, dang.
Okay, so that is Mark Spears' cover for Captain Planet. My question is, why does Captain Planet look like Kyle Higgins, the author of No One in Radiant Black?
I don't know. I don't think I know what he looks like off the top of my head, but I do really enjoy the beard. That's really interesting.
Don't worry, I'm going to go find you a picture of Kyle Higgins now.
All right. Oh, and then I got caught up on the Ultimate Universe. Ultimate Wolverine, game changer. So good.
I have not read it yet.
It's a little too good, I think.
All right, so I shared that.
And in the water with that one.
I wonder if I can. Let's see if I can actually. No, I can't do that.
The 1 year in one shot that they did with Ultimate Nick Fury that leads into the Wolverine book. Ooh.
All right, Josh, have you heard anything that I've said about Captain Planet here?
Not a word.
Okay, I'm not going to say anything else. I want you to get a good look at Captain Planet's face. Have you got that burned into your memory?
Yep.
All right, let me stop that. Stop share. I'm about to share another photo, and if this gets me in trouble, so be it. We can have both of them on the show to fight about this. I'm more than happy to fight about it. Bam.
That's not too far off, is it?
No, it is not.
Huh.
Huh.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I've proven my point, because that was the first person I thought of when I saw Captain Planet.
That's legit.
Now that you're back, let's hit these 4 books right quick.
Yeah, we better.
Marvel did something right. They did the Disney cover, but they actually
Hang on,
did
you're
it.
being called out.
Hey, I call them like I see them, Mark. That's
He's
all
not
there is
wrong.
to it. I call them like I see them. And to
So
be honest with you,
bearded.
I'm jealous of Kyle Higgins' beard. I really am. But Marvel did something right. They actually put the corresponding Disney cover with the proper book. This is Fantastic Four, issue 28.
Vindication.
Yep. I thought this was a really great lead up to One World Under Doom. I was struggling on if I wanted to read One World Under Doom, but after reading this, I definitely want to read it.
Is North writing that one as well?
I don't
Yes.
know who's writing.
Yes,
Fantastic.
he is.
Game on then.
North is writing One World Under Doom.
Oh, he is?
That's exactly correct. Yes.
Was it issue 7? Was that Dr. Doom's big issue for Fantastic Four? Was it 7? Where he kept going back in
Somewhere
time?
in there.
I thought he did a great job writing Dr. Doom, where he kept going back in time.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs?
No, this one wasn't the dinosaur
No,
one.
this was a different book.
Yeah, Doom kept going back in time trying to save the kids because his goddaughter was one of the kids. And no matter what he did, he failed.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally realized toward the end of the book that the only way that he could win was to just not participate. I mean, it was really good the way it was written. Did you ever think that you'd be excited to see Pranky show up and do his thing?
Yeah, it's almost like Ryan North knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Ryan North, you never can tell. Pranky in Hyde Street. Have you read Hyde Street 3 yet? You're like...
Oh, I think
Did you not see all those pictures I sent you over the weekend?
But you know, sometimes I have to tune them out because I get jealous.
At least you're honest.
No, I read Hyde Street, and it is fantastic.
Okay, here's my
Hyde Street
question.
is great.
I don't know if I missed this somewhere or if it just hasn't been talked about yet. But who is this character?
That's his first introduction, so far as I know.
Okay, gotcha. And yes, Matt Posey, there is a 2 and 3, and they have been out. This is issue 3. We get kind of a brief little team up between Pranky, the little Boy Scout, and Mr. X-Ray. It's been, dude, Hyde Street has been great if you have not been reading it. Oh, is that Frankenstein's monster, Mark?
Not really. He's something else. I forget what they call him. I'll look it up in just a second.
Yeah, because he says Pranky calls him something, I thought.
Yep, he does. And I believe there's a write-up on him at the end, too.
Now, the write-up I'm seeing is Mr. X-Ray. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything else.
I think, Matt, you just wanted to try Hyde Street, and you didn't sign up for it yet. But I just texted Tom to tell him to make sure he adds you to the list tomorrow. Let me... Well, yeah. I didn't get that cover.
So, was it just me, or did it feel like in this issue, the Joes is actually Stalker's team?
That makes more sense.
Because
Stalker's the one that's acting like a grown-up.
Yeah, because I mean, just the way he busted in there and basically shut everybody down. And I don't know what Josh Williamson was thinking, but there for just a minute, I thought that Clutch was just done for. I did not like that feeling at all, especially after what he did to. Is he supposed to be that manatee monster? Sorry, I just saw that. And I definitely
it's matinee monster, not manatee monster.
Shut up. It's manatee monster from here on out.
Yeah, he's the monster from the 30s and 40s movies and such. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the creature from the Black Lagoon's rival, the manatee.
Mm-hmm.
Manatee monster. We totally need to write a letter to Ivan Rice and Jeff Johns and let them know that we need to see Manatee Monster.
The Manatee Monster.
Well, you know what? How about we don't, and we just give the Manatee Monster to Mark Spears?
You know, that's not a bad idea.
But all that aside, great. I know we got introduced to somebody at the end of it. I just can't remember
who. Mark, you're dead right. That's hysterical.
Shut up.
He hugs you to death, but only in fresh water.
Yeah.
Well, they go in salt water too.
Well, you know,
but mostly fresh water, and yeah, Lord help them. That G.I. Joe 3 was fantastic. It was very, very good. I'm liking where the story is going, but it couldn't touch this.
This one right here. But okay, before we move on to this one, let me say this. I like the way they are bringing characters into it, because you flip to the last page, and I was not expecting Tomax and Zaymont.
Well, I mean, they're already introduced in the Destro book, so that's not a surprise at all.
Yeah, it's not, but at the same time, I wasn't expecting them here so fast.
Oh, I was. They already made that deal with Destro and that's all in works. So I was not surprised to see them at all.
Gotcha. I definitely like this ruthless, cutthroat, not afraid to get his hands dirty Cobra Commander.
Yes.
That has been great.
I like the way that it was leading you to believe that it was Clutch that he was talking about.
That's when I was getting nervous.
And I was like, oh no, oh no. I see that you got the Pablo Villalobos cover. I just got the straight up regular cover.
Oh, for issue 3?
Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out. And switch me around so that I'm in big end, will you? Because I'm trying to figure this out. You tell me. It's a weird detail. It's just something that they clearly did on purpose. But this coffee cup that is cut in half or cut in part, what did that? There's nothing on this cover that would indicate what did that.
And there's a pin inside of it. Oh, there's several pins coming out of it.
Oh, I thought it was coffee. Oh.
But what cut that coffee cup so cleanly like that? There is nothing here that would indicate that.
Well, because I had that cover in my box, but I happened to glance over and saw this cover on the shelf. So I did a switcheroo. And I want to say there was another one of these covers on the shelf.
I'm not complaining with the one I got. I like it, but I will say, did you notice the vehicle that they're driving?
Oh yeah,
the Stinger, the old Cobra Jeep, the answer to the Vamp.
I like the grill on the front. That's awesome.
Yeah, because that's awesome.
That's really awesome.
Like, why wouldn't you do that with a Cobra-made vehicle?
Has Hasbro Pulse done a Stinger yet?
They have, and you will be pleased to know that I have 2 of them coming to the store soon.
Oh, really? I will definitely be pleased to know that. How much are they running?
Same as the Vamp.
All right.
Josh, I don't know if you heard, so apologies if I'm reiterating myself. I'm on my floor because I have all of my short boxes of every comic I've ever purchased in front of me right now.
So that just tells me you have not purchased enough comics.
I have I think 15 short boxes that I've amassed over the last odd decade. So I think I got a good track record.
That's not a half bad start.
Thank you. My mom says I have enough to open a store right now.
Your mom is wrong.
I know. Tell her that.
When we started Haven, we bought out an old a sports memorabilia place in Decatur that they had talked him into carrying comics, and he was like, "What am I doing? These things are stupid. I don't like them." And he had no idea how to sell them. So we bought 33,000 comics from him.
Woof.
We had to rent a U-Haul truck to carry them all back up here.
How many comics fit in a short box? Just so I could.
A short box, bagged and boarded, somewhere between 130 and 150.
Word. Good to know. That's mental math that won't haunt me later.
Yeah.
Also, I have to show you because I'm reorganizing everything. That's the name of the game today. So this is a good multitasking. This Donald Duck book from 2004 has a cover has an advert on the back for bobbleheads called the Nod Squad. That includes one of the Snorks, I Dream of Jeannie, one of the Nightmare Children from Nightmare Before Christmas, and Ben Affleck's Daredevil. What a team that would be.
Really?
What a bizarre mix of stuff.
The Nod Squad, because they're all bobbleheads.
Like, those don't appeal to anywhere near the same audience.
No, they do not.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
What is that even? Judging?
Yeah. All right, back to whatever comics you got left there.
All right, last one, and that was this issue right here.
Oh, it's a beautiful book.
I like the fact that Cobra Commander tried to stand his ground, but there was
which was unusual for him.
Yeah, that was a bit unusual for him, but there was no stopping Destro.
These little cut scenes. Well, now I'm re-embiggening me again. These little cut scenes, like the beginning, where you see all the ninjas and the dreadnoughts all standing out in front of the hospital.
Yep.
And they have a few of those throughout. Man, I love those.
Now, I meant to bring it, and I forgot all about it because I was trying to run out the door. I will bring it next week for anybody that does not believe me. So he started out drawing Scarlet a very particular way, which we did cover on this show.
Yep.
And over the course of time, he has started drawing Scarlet a little bit differently. And I can tell you, so you see Scarlet's head, where's she at? Right there.
Which page are you on?
It's the page where they've all got him framed. They've all got Destro framed. As far as the characters around him. It's one page back from the middle of the book, I believe. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
All right. I have got the sketch that Mike Weslowski picked up for us in Memphis.
Uh-huh.
Where he started drawing Scarlet like that.
Yes.
And every time I see Scarlet drawn that way now, I just get all excited because I know I've got the first sketch at home where he started drawing her that way. As far as the hair and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I gotta say, that particular page, as far as if you were going to own a page of a comic, it's got such a great cast of characters on it.
Yeah, it really does.
So good.
I love the way that it ended with him pretty much just handing over Cobra Commander's body. Even though we know Cobra Commander's alive. But, I mean, I love the way that looked at the end of it when he just comes dragging him out and they're all standing there.
So good. This particular show, I hate y'all are just watching me read a comic again. Y'all, this is so freaking good. G.I. Joe has just, it's been really good for a long time. And if you look at this particular story arc as a series of, like long chapters, it started back with IDW with them heading into the new Cobra Island casinos and all that stuff. And is culminating in this awesome story now. And I think this is the first time I can recall where we've ever seen Destro really reveal what he's capable of.
Matt Posey, I think I got you with Hyde Street 3 because Josh had to send a text message to get you signed up for it.
Well, we've got copies at the store.
Oh, he's talking about me not suckering him into any books.
Oh, well, I'm sure we could do that. I will say this is a very interesting book, and I have continued to enjoy Ultimate Spider-Man. But I've got to say, and next issue looks like it's finally going to happen, but yes, you're a fantastic, fantastic writer, Jonathan Hickman. We would like to see some action, please. We would like to see Spider-Man being Spider-Man, please. When is that going to happen? Because it ain't happening in this book. What we do get in this particular issue is Spider-Man's son running around in a version of the black suit.
I saw this, yes.
That's not weird at all.
So this actually I think Matt Posey's got a really good question here. How do you do an Ultimate Punisher and an Ultimate Daredevil?
Well, what would they be like in this world?
See, to me,
it would be because Punisher doesn't have any superpowers of any kind. He's just a guy who's really, really ticked off and relentless, and pair that with a lot of military background and knowledge. So he could be anybody. It doesn't matter. Daredevil does have a particular set of skills, and he would be interesting in this Ultimate Universe.
And didn't we already see Father Matthew?
Yeah.
Well, obviously we did. I don't think you'd get a Father Matthew in the Ultimate Universe. I think you might get a bloodier, angrier Matthew.
See, I would have to do something radically different with Daredevil. I would make him an 80s style televangelist that's a con man.
Well,
make
that
him
would
an
do it.
80s style televangelist that's a con man that's faced with the truth and he accepts the Daredevil's holy mission, you know?
Actually, I could totally get behind that. That would be amazing. What a character arc, bending toward redemption. I like it. Maybe he has his Damascus Road moment where he loses his sight and like legit loses it, but he gets everything else. You know what I mean?
That is the second time I've seen something. You mentioned it, and I was watching a video earlier where they talked about the Damascus Road and what actually happened. That's just weird that come up twice in one day.
Well, there you go.
Well, you know.
Whoa. What is going on?
What happened?
I don't know. Everything just shifted to full screen or something in a weird way.
I was fixing to say, we can still hear you and still see you.
Yeah. That was very strange. Anyway, did you talk about this?
Did that come out this week?
Yep.
How did I miss that?
I don't know.
I don't either. Talk about it. Tell me all about it.
But Justice League Unlimited #3.
Sell Matt Posey on it.
All right. I don't know that this is going to sell anybody on it or not, but this did something that I previously thought was impossible. This made Plastic Man cool.
Okay.
It made Plastic Man somebody that you can sympathize with, and I previously was never on the page with that. I just didn't know that was doable.
Superpower was cool, or like Brian.
Like the character is cool because he doesn't even have his power to start with.
Oh.
Somebody else has it, and this issue, part of that. This issue, they're still dealing with this massive forest fire in the Amazon. Like the entire Amazon is on fire, which is really bad news for, I don't know, the whole planet.
Yeah, oxygen.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing. And so they're trying to deal with that, and they find out that it is caused by magic. So that presents a problem. So they're trying to resolve that and figure that out. And there's some self-sacrifice that happens in this book that it's not characters that are just super, super popular, like everybody knows and loves, but they're characters that you see characters acting in a selfless way, and you see them sacrifice themselves.
Is somebody's doorbell ringing?
Difficult.
No, I have a grandfather clock.
Oh.
That's difficult. But then when you see the person who has Plastic Man's powers does not know how to control them. And so she looks like this.
You don't want to know where my mind just went.
She looks like that.
Okay, that's kind of weird. It looks like Clayface, to be honest with you.
That's what I thought at first too, but I don't know how to control this, and I just am melting all over all the time. Pretty hideous. It's somebody that he knows. It's a friend of his. He gets his power back, and she immediately says, "Oh, gee, thanks. That's great," and then takes off for the dimension that she came from, and leaves him like brokenhearted. It's rough. But then look who shows up.
Is he missing a hand?
No.
Oh, okay.
But it's Aquaman.
Aquaman.
And if you haven't read Aquaman #1 yet, it's very good. But look who also shows up, by the way.
Nice.
That's so cool. I love his pose on the cover. He looks awesome on the cover.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do they? Is this tie into Aquaman? Because at the end of Aquaman #1, when he goes to the To the Watchtower?
It explicitly says here, editor's note, this takes place prior to the events of Aquaman #1.
Gotcha. But and I'm asking, I guess, for clarification based on how Aquaman #1 ended.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. That the way Aquaman #1 ended certainly leaves a lot of questions and makes things interesting. I would love to get Mark from Legion of Comics his take on it because I think it's really interesting. And then the back of this issue has a little preview of Zatanna #1.
There was another one that had a preview for it, but I didn't read it. Did you read the preview?
It's if you are predisposed to like Zatanna, you're really gonna like it.
Okay.
Well, I love Zatanna, so game on.
Yeah, you're really gonna like it. But this is Justice League Unlimited continues to be. It's also got a preview for Justice League: The Atom Project, which clearly is not just some separate book. It ties into this, so I'm going to have to check that out too. And I think the first issue came out last week. But this book continues to just be fantastic. This is a great team book. I love the way they established it so that as individual missions require, they can change their roster and send the right people for the job instead of just the same 7 people to figure out how to do the job. I think that's really cool, and I totally dig it.
I only read the first issue, but to piggyback off of that, the way that they are so willing to humanize all of the people, and it's not just treating the superheroes as a vehicle to get any X power like, for the sake of the mission, but like when Star Sapphire goes onto the battlefield, like the mission requires her to like recontextualize how she feels about her powers and the spectrum of love, and like it becomes relevant to like Errol as a person instead of Star Sapphire the superhero.
Right, and it's the same thing that I really liked about the first Doctor Strange movie. Was the solution wasn't I'm going to punch you in the face harder until I win.
Yeah.
They had to be more creative with how they solve the problems. And there's some of that in this issue too, where they're being a little bit more creative with how they resolve things rather than just fights. And I totally dig that.
I also really like the mystery angles. I did end up reading issue 1 of the Question series that ties into this. And again, giving these characters spaces to be people and not just their powers so that they can solve the problem. I love it. Like Renee Montoya and Blue Beetle are such a good pairing together. It's just,
they really are.
Like this is everything that I want out of a huge roster DC comic instead of it's just, and here's a bunch of characters in the panel that you'll recognize, but only 2 of them will talk and only 1 of them will move.
What's funny is when G.I. Joe was first conceptualized, it had the same idea, right? You've got all these different people with these different specialties. You put together the right small team for the right task. And that continues throughout the book to some extent, but it had become dominated by a handful of characters to the detriment of other characters, which is a shame. I would love to see more G.I. Joe books about characters like Alpine and Outback, and Stalker is pretty prominent, but you hardly see Roadblock anymore.
You never see Shockwave.
Never ever see Shockwave. That's 100% accurate. I would like to see more stories that focus on characters that don't get the spotlight all the time, because they're really good, well thought out characters. And I just like to see what they bring. I mean, when's the last time we had an Arctic mission that required, Iceberg and Snow Job and all those guys?
Well, now we did get Snow Job in Scarlet, but only for like a couple of scenes here and there.
Right, and it wasn't like he was doing an Arctic mission; he was flying a helicopter.
Yeah.
Or an underwater mission where we get Torpedo and Wetsuit going against Cobra Eels. I want to see stuff like that.
Didn't they have one named Deep Six?
Yes, they did.
Well, I pulled that one out of my rectum.
Well, another book we need to talk about is this one.
Yeah, now I have not read that one. Give me the lowdown on that one.
Love this book.
In the Ultimate Universe, we found out in the Ultimate Universe one-shot special with Nick Fury, we got the introduction to this character at the end. And if you remember the way that the world is broken up in the Ultimate Universe with each of these supervillains or organizations, what have you, controlling certain aspects of it, certain geographical aspects, but also some other aspects. The Rasputins control Russia and all that area there, but they also control all mutants belong to them. Yeah, this guy is the result of a project that they were working on, and in the Ultimate Universe, this guy right here is known as the Winter Soldier.
It's so cool.
And I tell you, some of his flashes of memory and such, he ends up getting into a fight with some people in a church.
Some folks you'd recognize.
Oh, yeah. And I'm going to show you one of their pictures because I really wanted to know more about this ultimate version of this character. Looking for another good picture of it.
Okay, I'm staying muted for now because I'm ripping into this G.I. Joe action figure and I'm making all sorts of noise up in here.
Okay. I know that feeling well. All right. The very first picture is kind of the best one, I guess. I wish you could zoom in on Kurt.
Father Wagner.
Look at Kurt.
He looks absolutely wicked.
He does. And Mystique looks great. Don't get too used to seeing him. It's unfortunate.
The Ultimate Universe has this really lovely way of introducing really exciting characters into their fold, and you see them in panel, and it's so exciting that they're like present for this ultimate story. Not saying that this is true of Nightcrawler and Mystique, but like they're gone within two panels.
Well, I'll show you a picture if you want.
The Nick Fury 1 year in special, I was like, oh my god, it's Ultimate Howard the Duck, and he's incarcerated for life and probably dead. Yeah. They know how to pluck heartstrings and keep it very restrained to the characters that have like narrative merit and can like serve the thesis statement of what the universe itself is trying to say. And it's bleak and it's grim and it hurts my feelings every single time. But
what's really interesting about this is much like you see with Bucky Barnes in the regular universe, he's doing these things. They wipe his brain, and so he has no memory of them. But he's got these nagging little tiny shreds of memory hanging on. So at the end, you just see these three panels, successive panels, where it focuses in on him a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And it's clear that these things are bothering him. So the day is coming when he lets loose. When he just decides enough is enough and he's done.
Woe to the man that finds himself on the end of the Winter Soldier's blades.
Now, is it still Logan, or did they go with somebody else? It's still Logan? Okay.
Yeah.
It's Logan, except the Winter Soldier program has been folded into the Weapon X program because...
Correct, it's one thing.
Yeah, it's one thing.
And then the last page is this.
The prayer?
Yeah.
And it doesn't expressly say it, but it reads like that's something that Kurt would have said. So that's Nightcrawler. the priest.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's specifically also like it talks about how Nightcrawler knew him. So like
Yes.
Logan had a history like as a vigilante before he was taken, and then was then incapacitated by Colossus and Magic and Omega Red's Russian mutant regulation project. Discovered he was the weapon, and then they forged the Winter Soldier mental programming into the Weapon X conditioning.
Yep.
So it's just like Logan's life, but twice as hard, if that were even possible.
Which it clearly is, and it makes for a really interesting story.
Incredibly.
I was of the opinion that Ultimate Wolverine, how good can it be? No, it's really good. It's really really good.
Good. It's real good.
If you want a blast from straight back from like 1989,
Wow.
How was that? I mean, how's the story wise?
Savage Land.
It's definitely a chapter where it's like knowing more is helpful if you remember the Savage Land story and all that stuff from before, right? But the art's okay. But this story without Jim Lee on pencils feels wrong. Because this was his era on X-Men. And it feels weird for this to be that era, but not his pencils, not his art.
Okay.
It's just very strange. I will say it's a little tongue-in-cheek throughout the book, but it clearly explains how this costume ends up becoming what she's wearing. Because the rest of her clothes just keep getting shredded as she's fighting dinosaurs and saber-toothed cats and stuff like that. And she's like, well, this doesn't hold up very well, does it? It's pretty funny. But this book has been very popular, very, very hot book, selling very well now.
Okay. Whatever. Stop.
That's really it. I've still got a few on the pile to be read, including All Along the Watchtower number 3. I haven't read this one yet. It's here in my box. I got Miles Morales, Spider-Man 29, and I've got What If Galactus Transformed Moon Knight.
That's the only one of those I care to read, but I almost got it.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that one out.
It's also the only one I care to read too, so I did pick it up. But
yeah,
I'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, I'm really interested in what they're doing with Miles right now. I'm really interested in that. That is a very fascinating web to weave, because they're doing the Moon Knight Khonshu relationship principle, except instead of Miles being like nebulously spider related for some spider totem for the multiverse thing,
yeah,
he was explicitly chosen by Anansi, the like African Yoruba god of spiders,
yep,
as his avatar in the way that Moon Knight is for Khonshu.
Yeah.
Anansi is now like a character in it talking to Miles. And I like that a lot. And they're building a story with Olympian and Asgardian tension with Anansi and his what do you call that? His group of gods.
That's cool. I dig that.
I'm interested in that because it's fun. That's different. You know, it's not just Spider-Man in the city. Okay.
Spider-Man in the city.
Totally off topic. Do you have your Beachhead figure handy?
Yeah.
Did you know that the suppressor comes off of his rifle?
Yes.
I did not know that.
I had to put it on mine.
Actually, it come attached.
I think I had to put it on mine, but yes. It's good stuff. It's some good stuff. But yeah, I just got this fella in today.
Nice.
Whoa.
Xandar. I always liked him for some reason. He hardly ever appeared in the comics. He never did much, but I always liked him.
You know, as far as the way they looked, the one that I liked the most was one of the first ones of these that I bought. Just the whole look of the character, and that was Barbecue.
Yeah.
I like the way Barbecue looked. I don't know why.
You talking about the original or with the classified line?
I the red and silver. That one. I mean,
I'm talking about the 3 3/4 inch or the 6 inch.
Oh, the 6 inch. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I meant. Yeah, no, he's a good one. He's a very good one.
Trying to figure out how to put all this stuff on him and how to. I don't remember Beachhead coming with a crossbow.
Yeah, he did. A little one.
Yeah, but it's like, where do I? And then the little satchel.
Yeah, I didn't use all the stuff with him. I just put him. I guess kept him relatively normal. But yeah, he's a good one. Really good figure. I was glad that came in though, because it's good stuff.
Then it's like, where do you clip the hand grenades on?
I don't recall. But let's talk comics some more for a sec. It was just announced today that Boom Studios is moving up their timeline. They were transitioning from Diamond exclusive to Penguin Random House July 1st, and they are now transitioning on April 1st.
So, speaking of Diamond, I saw a list of the top 30 companies they owe money to.
Oh, yeah, it's a big list, and $9.2 million to Penguin Random House.
Yeah, there was some large numbers on that list.
That was the biggest one.
Yeah.
But yes, they owe quite a bit of money.
And I mean, when you, and I know that Chapter 11 is for you to restructure and everything and all that good stuff, but when you owe that type of money, how do you ever get back in the good graces with those companies?
Well, here's the thing I don't know. I don't know if the amount they owe is a staggering sum for what they get or not. I don't know. That might be a quarter, right? That might be just the third or fourth quarter of 2024. I have no idea if that's all it is, if it's like 90-day terms, or if it's a month, if it's 6 months. I don't know. It's a lot of money. Absolutely. I just don't know if it's a whole lot of money or if it's just in the grand scheme of things a normal amount for the kind of work that they're doing. I don't know.
My thing is, I hope that it's total, because if that's a quarter, good Lord.
Well, that's just the. I don't mean if it's a quarter of the debt. I mean it's like 1/4 of bills.
Yeah.
If they had net 90 days, and that was just October, November, December, right? That's what I meant by a quarter.
Gotcha.
So I just don't know on that front. I will say the total they owe is somewhere in the $30 million range. There you go. Yeah.
I just don't know where to stick the hand grenades.
You saw that movie, The Man on Fire, right?
You know, I never saw that movie.
Oh, buddy, that is a glaring omission. You need to see that movie.
I know.
That is Denzel Washington being amazing, and there's a scene with a hand grenade that you need to see.
And I know this is about to be an unpopular opinion. Please send all hate mail to nick@twobrotherscomics.com. I've never been that big of a Denzel fan.
That's because you haven't seen this movie.
You need to fix that.
I can tell you where everything went south as far as I was concerned with Denzel.
When's that?
That was the movie Ricochet.
I don't even remember that movie.
It was a long time ago. It was him and John Lithgow in it. And for some reason, I did like The Bone Collector with him in it.
That was a good movie.
That was a good movie, and there was I like the Equalizer with him in it.
Dude, if you like those movies, you will freaking love Man on Fire. Man on Fire is kind of a what if the Punisher was sad?
Yeah.
Is he not usually?
No, the Punisher's angry.
Oh, I was about to say
Vengeance driven.
One of Frank Castle's like most prominent characteristics. He's incredibly depressed.
Oh yeah, but he's not sad. There's a difference, right?
Fair enough.
This dude is just
Mopey.
like sad. Yeah. But then there's something that catalyzes him, and he goes off, and from that point on,
It's all about protecting that little girl, isn't it?
Oh yeah. And it's amazing. But there's a scene with a hand grenade. If you watch nothing else, watch that scene, and then you'll watch the rest of the movie.
Ricochet?
Guaranteed.
Yeah,
no, Man on Fire.
Ricochet.
I'm talking about the movie Man on Fire.
Okay, I'm adding it to my list.
It's a fascinating movie. It really is very, very well done.
Isn't it Dakota Fanning that plays the little girl?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm just giving things away, Matt. No spoilers.
She was everywhere. She was like the little girl in a
yes, she was. You needed a little blonde kid for a movie.
It's her.
Get that one, Chet. She's the only one. There were no other blonde kids for movies.
None.
So apparently the crossbow has a slot in the backpack that you can stick it in.
That is correct.
You know, I'm just sitting here playing my dude toys, purchased at Haven Comics. Get your exclusives.
That's good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will hit the plugs when I can.
I'm trying to remember other comics business. There was something else that came out yesterday, the day before, but I do feel like we should talk about that Daredevil trailer again.
So, before we get to the Daredevil trailer, there is, and I feel like it's something that we might need to kind of cover because I know you posted it on Facebook. Mm-hmm. We have got these one-shots coming up for G.I. Joe that are basically
silent issues.
Silent issues. There's supposed to be 4 of them, and then it was Beachhead. Oh, is there 5 of them? I saw Beachhead, Spirit, Jinx,
Duke.
Oh, Duke's getting a silent issue?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have done Duke.
I wouldn't. There's so many other characters I would rather have done.
Yeah. I would have given the silent issue because as soon as you said Beachhead was getting a silent issue, it was like, oh, yeah, I've got to see that. Especially the premise of it.
Oh, yeah.
Who would you have done to leave the obscure characters out of it, but characters that people would know? Who would you have chosen for a silent issue?
Man, I tell you somebody who would be great in a silent issue, somebody like Quick Kick. Not Quick Kick, he would be all right. Tunnel Rat. Rat. Picture an issue of him having to skulk around either to infiltrate and get in, or he's got to escape. And he's just underground dealing with stuff. You could have an awesome silent issue with Tunnel Rat. I would be remiss if I didn't say Outback. Outback would be amazing in a silent issue. Put him out in the woods, in some inhospitable terrain, something like that. Go back to somebody like Torpedo and Wetsuit, silent issue. I mean, heck, put them underwater. What are they going to talk? You don't need it. You can just tell the story with the action as it happens.
I think something that would be fun as a silent issue would be Junkyard and Mutt.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Because it would be different.
Yeah, it would. It would.
Oh, and then there was one other G.I. Joe thing that I wanted to ask you about that I noticed. Let's embiggen me for just a second.
Hang on one sec. I got to bring something up. Matt, Snake Eyes is talking now.
Yep, and
since he's in a body that was cloned, his new body never had its vocal cords burned out, so Snake Eyes can now talk. He talks in very short, clipped sentences, and 9 times out of 10, it's a quote of some kind.
Yeah, he will quote Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Is that what you learned? How do we feel about that?
It's weird, but I dig it. If he's going to talk, it's minimal, and it's just stuff he's been hearing. It's weird. There's no doubt about it. It's weird, but
it is. But when he does talk, it's very well timed.
That's true too. Yeah,
he's definitely kept it at a minimum and very well timed, and I have enjoyed that. So I noticed this. Let me make sure I got everything out of my way. So on the covers for next month, number one, that Stalker cover is absolutely amazing. If you get one, I need it.
I'll be getting it.
But is that Sherlock?
I cannot tell because I cannot see it. Which issue are you looking at?
This is the very back page of issue 313 that we just talked about.
The one we just talked about. All right, let me take a look.
Because we got introduced to Sherlock on IDW for, 3 or 4 issues, then we have not seen her since. And when I first saw that, I was like, hey, is that Sherlock?
All right, let me take a look here.
But that Stalker cover is amazing.
How do you feel about this character from Invincible getting his own book, this Battle Beast guy?
So I'm going to be honest with you, I never read Invincible.
Shaquille's.
That could be her.
That is so funny, Josh, because you just did exactly what I did when I was looking at it for the first time.
What?
You zoomed in. You zoomed in old man style.
Well, yeah. Yeah, the Stalker cover is a 1 in 10 variant that they're doing those camouflage, essentially the negative space kind of variants.
Yeah, and that is so cool looking.
There's a Cobra Commander one coming up. But
really?
Yeah, that's Tunnel Rat right there on the cover. That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed Tunnel Rat, and then I was like, because I had read somewhere that if Larry Hama was a character in G.I. Joe, he was Tunnel Rat.
That's true. Yeah.
And then when I saw Tunnel Rat on the cover, I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And then I started trying to see who else that was, and I was like, well, damn, is that Sherlock?
Yeah, it might very well be. I think it probably is.
Because, I mean, it's been a while since we've seen her.
Yes. Very true.
But then again, Mr. Hama, if you're watching this, it's been a while since we've seen Sean Collins as well. I would kind of like to get back there. Thank you. Please. Appreciate that, brother. Love you.
You need a T-shirt printed up that says Sean Collins' biggest fan.
Really?
President of the Sean Collins fan club. Yeah.
Sean Collins is Snake Eyes.
Well, that's the theory. But yeah, I don't know. I'm seeing some interesting things about this Battle Beast book. It might be worth a look.
Yeah, I never read Invincible, and then it was just kind of, at this point, where do I fit it into my reading, you know?
I know the feeling. Well, guys, since I had to run and grab my other computer, it was not fully charged, and the battery is dying rapidly. It's about to pop out on me. So it's a little bit early tonight, but I feel like we're going to have to wrap it up, or else I'm going to wrap it up one way or the other. You guys can keep going, but is that cool with you guys?
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up then.
All right, guys, very sorry for everybody that we're cutting it a little bit short. We'll make it up to you later, I promise. Hope you guys all have a great night. Read some comics. Come back next week with what you're reading, and let's talk about some comics because that makes us all happy. So appreciate it, everybody. Thank y'all very much.